Um, First of all, I want to make sure that I always say this. I absolutely hate making videos. I'm so uncomfortable on camera. I would love to hide in a small basement and never be on camera. I would love for people to just know who I am and what I do without me having to be vulnerable and expose myself on social media. But the reason why I make the videos is to humanize who I am so that people know who I am behind words. So this video is a little bit more raw, it's a little bit more vulnerable. I'm speaking to both professionals and people who are not clinicians. Perhaps you're watching this video because you are an individual who's been considering psychotherapy, or perhaps you are an individual who's considering attending a group or a training of mine. So I wanted to introduce myself in a little bit of a different way and discuss my areas of focus. A lot of therapists will say specialties, so that's another way of saying this. So my areas of focus are from lived experience. So every single area that I specialize in, I have very, very in-depth, comprehensive personal lived experience, as well as lots and lots of extensive professional training in. So some of the areas that I work with, a lot of them are commingled and they are interrelated. So for example, you know, addiction, anger, distress tolerance, codependency, family work, betrayal and infidelity, affairs, substance use, sex and porn addiction, bipolar disorder. A lot of these areas are they are very, very correlated. However, I do work with a couple of conditions that don't seem related. And one of them is traumatic brain injury. That holds a very, very, very special place in my heart. And separately, grief and loss. For many of us as therapists, we tend to work with areas that we truly understand in our hearts and souls. So when I look at either my group participants or my individual clients or my couples, I'm looking at you and saying, I really get it. I'm here with you. I'm feeling your feelings. I'm in your soul. I get it. I wanted to kind of normalize clinicians not only working with one thing. I personally would go bonkers. I don't want to just work with one population all the time, because one, I understand a lot of different experiences and conditions, but also that can in some cases it can lead us as clinicians to kind of cookie cutter individuals, and that is just not the case when you work with people. So I hope that giving a little bit of an explanation of my background and who I am helps some of you understand the why behind how my practice is designed. So some of you are familiar. I offer consulting, as well as I separately offer CE courses, continuing education courses, for therapists. And then separately in my private practice, I work with clients with all different areas of needs. And for some people, it doesn't make sense from the outside. But when we get to know a person and we start to understand their story, we start to develop a little bit more compassion. And I like to encourage people to initially always come from a place, especially when you're online, come from a place of curiosity instead of making assumptions. So many of us are on social media for either professional means, trying to network, trying to create more relationships. But some individuals, unfortunately, they get caught up in the social media stuff. And I try to encourage people to um, use social media for a very designated purpose. And the reason I'm speaking about that is I make these videos and I place them on social media platforms, but I use them as a means to let people get to know me. So I'm hoping that this really raw, vulnerable approach will give everybody a reminder that we all have different stories that probably most of us don't share online, and to approach our interactions with more curiosity. Um, and hopefully that can help us cultivate more friendships and deeper, more meaningful, authentic exchanges with people. If you are in need of support, you're welcome to reach out. If you're interested in any professional services, you can find the link below.